Hi everybody! Hi Theo! So we are continuing our videos covering Lord of the Rings, and today we have a very cool video. I'm very excited about it. We're going to talk about industrialization in a fantasy story, Lord of the Rings. That's so odd. Fantasy, medieval, English stuff, and industry.
It's weird.
Okay, so how can there be industrialization in a pre-industrial era?
Well, there's a real contrast. There's the Shire, there's Rivendell, the Elven lands, and all this beautiful natural world, and then there's Mordor.
Mordor?
Mordor. Mordor is, its very air is a poisonous fume. One does not simply breathe
these poisonous fumes.
And they talk about, you know, Saruman chopping down the trees. He has a mind of wheels and
does not like growing things.
Does not like growing things. The orcs don't like growing things. They love, you know, explosions, and, you know, they only make things for violent purposes.
Right. They divert rivers. They ruin the land, the natural world.
Right. Exactly. The Mordor is New Jersey-ish.
Good. Sorry, people from New Jersey, but it's your fault for living there. Come on, it's not our fault.
Yeah, maybe like clean up after yourselves or something.
So on one hand, we have this romantic ideal of the natural world, and on the other hand, we have a very unromantic view of the world, like brutal pragmatism, no emotional connection to the world, and that's very dangerous for the people who live in the world.
You know, there's a lot of stories that have similar dynamics where there's, you know, the person from a small village or farmland, you know, sort of is confrontation with the big city, you know, like Hunger Games. Princess Mononoke deals with some of that, and even Star Wars, you know, Lucas, like this little farm boy.
Right.
And, you know.
Okay, and the industrialists, they will never be the good guys in these stories. Like, they're fucking creating jobs, you goddamn hippie.
So the values of this pre-industrial sort of, you know, close-knit communities is to really live in harmony with nature.
Right, and with one another.
And with one another. Right. Yeah. So you have these examples of these, you know, the devices of man coexisting with nature, and the elves and Rivendell and Lothlorien, that these sort of beauty of human invention with the beauty of nature.
Not at the expense of
nature.
nature.
Not at the expense of it. Right. The dwarves, they dig, you know, they make their beauty out of rocks and stone. It's still of the earth, it's still of the nature, and it's only bad when you dig too deep into them.
Right.
Like the mind, like Moria, when you dig too deep, then you awaken something else.
Right. And the hearts of men are easily corrupted.
Easily corrupted. Right.
So we cannot stop ourselves. We have this urge to create and to dominate the world, and we fear that our creations will eventually lead to our own downfall.
That's right.
Hey! Quit stalling, get back to work. Go on.
In Lord of the Rings, the ring itself is the sort of masterful creation that leads to domination. That it's the one ring to rule them all. So there's this danger that mankind will become too infatuated, too proud of its own work, and become infatuated with their ability to create and the beautiful things they create at the expense of nature. The ring creates a sort of seduction. The power of technology is a force of coercion. We can become sort of fascinated with ourselves, with what we're able to create. Gil, put your phone down.
Sorry.
Okay.
So basically, this is a yearning to long gone days when the orcs were riding in the back of the bus, and all the white people running in the back of the bus, in the front of the bus. Do you think it's a coincidence that all the orcs are either brown or green? Come on.
You're saying you think people of color are similar to demented green figures? That's racist.
You win!
This is so important for him because industrialization really affected him very personally. I mean, when he grew up in pre-industrial English countryside.
Right. Beautiful green, quaint, peaceful.
Yeah, exactly. He went away to war in World War I, which was sort of the first real industrial catastrophe.
Right.
Right. Whereas wars before then, you know, it was a lot harder to kill people.
Right, you have to do it one at a time.
Yeah, it was labor intensive.
Right.
It would take a long time to kill that many people.
Right.
Well, when World War I came around, mass industrial scale.
And shelling and gas and barbed wire and everything. Right.
All this horrible, horrible stuff. Right?
And you can see in the pictures, they're all black and white. It's really dark.
Yeah, they didn't even have color.
What the fuck? So. No, because when you look at like pictures from medieval times, whatever paintings, they're all in color. So
that's right.
Science.
You look at you know, medieval times is much more colorful, vibrant. Right. They wore. Yeah.
You can see. Ah, right. That's actually true.
It's true. Yeah.
I thought you were still joking.
When he came back, you know, it was different. There were automobiles now. You know, there was a mill that he remembered as being like so central to the community, and it was totally abandoned.
Right.
Now.
It was a mess.
Yeah.
Sad.
It took, you know, changed the job market. You know, people moved to these, you know, big cities, like big industrial cities like London, and
this is where he felt the coercion of technology taking over the land, his land,
right,
that he felt like a connection with.
Right, where the inventions of men were at the expense of nature as opposed to in harmony with nature.
You were saying? So basically, we all agree that encroachment of industry over the natural world is bad for everyone. This is everybody's war. When you destroy the natural world, since we only have one planet, then this is like someone sitting on a branch and literally cutting the branch off. So now is the time for my vegan rant. 50% of all gas emissions that cause global warming come from, look at me, come from the animal industrial complex. Did you know that? And isn't enslaving and jailing animals and killing 1 billion of them every year a form of coercion? Wouldn't you say that, Theo? Take, for example, Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's a great guy. He's a great guy. When he talks about wanting to explore, I think it was the moon or some planet, some distant planet, there's a big, thick layer of ice, and he thinks that there's life beneath it. So he said, I want to come over and dig a hole and take the fucking fish and cut it up just because I'm curious. I want to see what's inside. Fucking leave the fish alone. Leave it alone. What the fuck is wrong with you humans? No, isn't that demented? Just like, think about it. He's like so curious to see this, but the first thing that he wants to do is just kill an animal and change the planet.
His cousin's a fish.
We're all connected, people. We're all connected. So we're reading this story or watching these movies and we think, Saruman, you're the bad guy. No, we are Saruman.
Yeah, I was born and raised in New York City. I think this place in Tolkien's mind is basically Mordor. Sauron won here already, sorry.
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. New York, New York.
But this is the greatest city in the world, so maybe Saruman was right. I don't know. So forget everything I said.
So at the heart of the machine is the ring. That in our infatuation with our own creations.
Right. It speaks to something very human.
They dominate us. Right.
Right.
And that the ring is primarily a force of coercion over human minds. Right. It is, I command you to do this.
There is some biblical saying, I don't remember where it's from, I'm going to translate it just from the top of my head. Who is a hero? A person who conquers his urges. So you have to be heroic in order to conquer the urge that the ring creates in you. Something that already exists in you. It's not Saruman or Sauron. We have some ring in ourselves.
Well, even at the end, after
we won,
and they go back to the Shire, everything's still changed. It's not the same. It's not the same.
You can't unring that bell.
You can't go back.
Yeah, and this is true in our own world. When you've gone through industrialization, then there are consequences, and now we see that there are consequences for industrialization even in fantasy worlds and stories. That's kind of deep, I think. So basically, Tolkien ends with this famous Plato quote: "What was, will never be again." And if you want to purchase that shirt, there's a link in the description. There are also other shirts. And if you want to see all our videos about Lord of the Rings, wake up, Theo! You should definitely subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video. Here is like in the description, there's a link to support us on Patreon. We would totally be happy. You could make us happy, and you will get access to a lot of Patreon-only content. And also you can watch our previous videos together right here. We've been having a lot of fun doing these videos. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you all next time. Bye, everybody!